Hi, my name is Pat Porter. I'm the office manager here at BCCA, and in this video we're going to show you how to assemble a beer can tote. There are four kinds of beer can totes: 12 ounce, 16 ounce, aluminum bottle, and 24 ounce, and they are basically the same procedure to do them. The good news is you don't need any tools but your own two hands. It's a low-tech operation, and in the spirit of a low-tech operation, I've got some low-tech graphics here. There's basically three steps. We're going to tackle the first step, which is removing tabs. Then we're going to do a lot of folding of the pieces, and then we're going to assemble the whole thing. And I'm going to do this all on my own to demonstrate to you that you can do this too. It always helps to have a second person. I'll point out areas where that will be a good, helpful thing to have. But if you're alone, like I am right now, to do this, you can still put together totes, and we're going to show you how. So the first thing I'm going to show you is removing the tabs. When you're ready to assemble your tote, of course, if this is assuming that the office manager was competent enough to send you all the materials you need. What you need are, basically goes into three groups. You need these, what are called dividers. These get inserted into the tab, and you should have 10 of these. See, here's 5, and I got another 5 here. Then there's 2 of these inserts. They hold the dividers, and you should have 2 of these, and as it happens, I do have 2 of these. And then they all go inside a shell. This is a shell, and it looks like this with the BCCA logo on it. So the first step before you do anything else is, as I say, remove tabs. You're going to have a lot of loose tabs like this, and if you've got kids around, they might have fun doing this. You just simply take all these pieces apart and remove the tabs, and you can toss them out. You don't need them anymore. So you can see now we have all our parts ready to go. We've removed all the tabs, and now we've got a stack of 10 of these dividers, and we've got these 2 inserts, and of course we have our shell. There are pieces like this inside this. These will serve as the handles for the tote, and you can just take these out too and toss them. They don't serve any purpose. So once you've done that, you've completed step number 1. Step number 2 is folding. Now, this is a very important part of tote assembly. The more diligent you are about folding all these pieces, the better your assembly will go. It's crucial. So, the first thing you can start folding are these dividers. They fold in half. If you pan in here, you'll see that there are these perforations in the cardboard. Now, they don't go all the way through. They're designed to enable you to easily fold these, and fold these in a fashion where when you're done, you'll have a nice flat ridge right here. This is very important, and you want to do this with all 10 of these. So I'm going to do one more for you here. You can see you got the perforations. You fold them inside so that the white part is on the outside, and if there's a little flaw in it like there is in this one, that's nothing to worry about. But you want to make sure you get 2 nice folds there so that it's kind of squared off at the top. This will make your tote, this will give it max functionality and make it look nice too. So we're going to do all those, all 10 of those, and set them aside. So now we've got our dividers ready, and now we're going to fold up the inserts. And you'll see as this starts to take shape what the purpose is of doing all this folding. You can see here that there are perforations, and once again, just like with the dividers on these inserts, you're folding where the perforations are. And very much like the inserts, you are folding to make these nice squares. So if you can see here, we're getting the camera in close on this, you can see that we are making folds at 2 different perforation spots here, right? And the goal is to get it so that it looks like this when you're done. We're going to make all 6 of these look just like that, because what we'll eventually be doing is inserting these dividers. What you'll see here as the camera pans in on this is, there might be a little hard to see, but there are perforations, perhaps a little faint, where we do all the folding. There's this perforation here, and then there's these 2 here, and then another one here. And this repeats 3 times. And you can just, start from either end and do your folding. And at first it really doesn't matter what direction you're doing it. The bottom line is that it's not going to fall apart. You can see I just folded this in half. I can fold it the other way, and it's it's not going to break off. If it does break off, call the BCCA Office Manager and swear at him that he sent you defective parts. But the key thing is just getting the folds right, because ultimately, and you see what I'm doing here, ultimately the goal is to get them to look like this, where this is standing up. And you see we've already done this on this one. This insert now is ready to go, and we're ready to proceed to step 3, which is to start actually assembling. So the first part I like to do when I'm assembling these is I use one of these dividers to kind of anchor this, for lack of a better term, this insert here. And I always start in the middle. I start with the middle notch of a divider, and I start with the middle of the 5 slots here that you see that these go in. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to place this divider in here, and it's going to hold this in a shape, in a position where it'll be easy then to insert the rest of the dividers. And then you'll see as this is taking shape where your cans are going to go. So you've got the slot here, and you got a slot here, and you just got to match them up. I knew that was going to happen. I knew that damn phone was going to ring. I should have turned it off. This, if you do it like this, it's so secure. You can see I can pick this up and it all holds together. And when you get that first one in, I have found that it then becomes very easy to do the rest of them. I'll show you one more. In fact, I'll show you 2 more. And again, it's just a matter of getting the holes lined up so that it fits securely. If you're doing it right, you should be able to hold up your insert, and you wouldn't really see any gaps here between the divider. No significant gaps between the divider and the insert it's going into. We'll grab one more of these and do one on the end, and then that just follows for the rest of them for the other 7, just like that. And we're going to keep going that way, and that'll make all the slots for the cans. So you can see we have now assembled these inserts, and it's clear that where the cans will go. And now, of course, we need to put them into the shell. This is where it can get a little tricky, but once again, I think a very important tip is we're going to remove these temporarily, and we're just going to concentrate on getting the folds in this shell prepared. You can see, and I'm going to turn this over so you may be able to see it a little bit better, but of course the shell folds this way, but it also folds in a lot of ways. You see these tabs here, and actually I think you'll see it a little bit better if you come in closer on this. You're going to see that there are already pre-folds here, and we basically want to start folding this cardboard anywhere where there are folds. Again, it's not going to fall apart on you, and you want to try to make sure, this is very subtle, you can see that there's 2 folds here, and you want to try to make sure that you get a good fold on both of those. So I just did the first one on this tab, and now I'm going to fold it again so that you can see I have a nice flat ridge here. And if you're doing it that way, that's ideal. That's what you want, because if you look carefully here, there are these slits here that the tabs will go into, and for ideal tote construction, you have this folded so that when the time comes to insert your dividers that hold the cans, it'll push against this, and then these tabs will go into these slots, and it'll hold the whole thing together. An important point that you need to know about these slits, we're used to punching the perforations out, but in this case you don't punch anything out. These are, you can see that these are holding on to the rest of the shell right here, and it's designed to be that way. You don't want to punch these out. This slit is strictly there to hold this tab as you fold it over. So when it comes time, and we're going to do this very shortly, to put the insert in, the insert will press up against this, and then these tabs will go into these slots. As you can see, we've been folding all these at where the lines are, and we're now ready to start inserting. This is the final step to insert the actual can holders to finish the entire tote. But one fold I want to hold until right now to make sure you demonstrate it. You can see that, of course, when these totes close, they'll close the opposite way. This is, the exact opposite of the way they will eventually close. But it's not just that this fold is important, it's that these folds are important as well, because this will, you can see that this is the sort of the inside divider that's going to hold. This is very important to hold both of your inserts in. And if you have a good fold right here, it's going to help you with this next step immensely, which is the trickiest part. The pieces here sort of form a wall that we are going to fold this part over, and that's going to be the one edge of your tote. I'm going to demonstrate that again. So you have it like this, and you take these tabs and you fold them in here, okay? And also, I'm doing this on my own. And with a hand that hopefully you can grab this part and then fold it over here. And this doesn't need to lock in. You don't need any glue or tape or anything like that. You just keep it here because you hold it with one hand, and then the insert will press against that part that you just folded down, and you might be lucky, and as I let it go, it's actually staying in place. But if it isn't staying in place, that's okay. Let's say it's loose, like that. You press it in, and then you pull the insert in against it, and it holds it in place. Now, you can see this looks like a handle, and that's what it is. It's a handle. It's up to you if you want to do something with this right now, but eventually you can see this part will fold into here, and we'll have one on the other end, of course, and then this is where you actually grip the thing. So if you want, you can kind of put that in right now, or you can wait. Now you can see I'm turning it around because we've got one end here done. Now you want to do the other end. And this, I suppose, if you're working alone, this is probably the trickiest part. Now, I haven't practiced this at all. I'm doing this in one shot. And the way I like to do it, and if you have a better way and demonstrate it, we'll make a new video. But you can see I'm lifting this up so that this tab has enough clearance to get in here, just like I did on the other end. But at the same time, I'm keeping with the back of my hand, I'm keeping the insert pressed against the other part so that that stays put. And by leveraging the edge of the insert against this end, that won't come apart, and then it enables you to use the tabs on this end to push in and turn this end, and now you've got your insert. Now you are about, at this point, you're about 90% done assembling this tote. Of course, we've got another one to do, and I'm going to demonstrate one more time how this is done. You lift this end up, fold these tabs in, And then this one goes over the top and into those slots I was talking about earlier. You've got your insert here, press it against there, and you're going to leverage that as you do the other side. So I've turned it around now, obviously. And again, keeping the insert pressed against the other side so it doesn't come apart. And if it does, in fact, in a way, I kind of hope it does, because I can show you, just turn around, you do it, you know, you go the other way. It doesn't matter which side you do. But once again, I have lifted the insert, but I'm still leveraging, holding against the other side, and lifting it just high enough to enable that slot, or that, I should say, that flap, to get over the ones I tucked in here. And now, boom. And we're about 99% done now. The last thing there is to do is to fold your handle. We already did this one. Now we're going to fold that handle into here. You can see when I close this, it'll, which I'll demonstrate in a moment. These, of course, are the tabs that hold it together. You have these tabs on one end, and then you have these slots on the other, and the tabs will go into those slots. And now, for the coup de grace, we're going to close this, lift these handles up. Okay, they should stay in place. This one's coming out a little bit, but that's okay. And then the tabs go into slots, and voila, one tote.